A train wreck to spin fire. The NFT analyzer, diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From meme coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web3 is a tree to show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing with.
Good morning, guys. Mega GMs. Welcome to the Swarm Report. Man, you know what's weird? Like, we've been covering these virtuals Genesis launches now for, it's been a few months, right? And we try to bring on, well, everybody. I was going to say the biggest, best, but I like everybody. I want every project that's trying to build to come through the show and talk about what they're building and the why and meet the community. But how crazy that this is our first time having on the first ever virtuals Genesis launch. Wild, dude, wild. Welcome to the show to the Hollywood team. What's up, guys?
Thank you. I feel like we were the first and then forgotten, but now we're products, so making a comeback.
Well,
Anyway.
I'll tell you this, for some peace of mind, I can tell you for sure, not forgotten. It's just, man, there's so much stuff that gets people's attention, but I know what people are excited about. We talk about it all the time is the the content side of it. Everybody like thinks that the space is fixated on the DeFi stuff and, you know, the tools that are make you money. No, we talk a lot about how it's the content stuff that's probably going to be the biggest, best stuff that has maybe the broadest product market fit. And something we're all going to end up using. So just know, people, we are definitely talking about you, probably more than you realize. So yeah, this should be fun. This should be fun. Let me do some quick GMs out there. Carbon, good morning, man. Hoods, Katz is here. Mufasa, it's good to see you, boys. Gravity's here too. What's up, man? Good morning. Man, why don't we kick it off? Actually, okay, hang on. I was going to say, let's kick it off getting right into the project and even a walk through memory lane. Do you guys mind if I do a quick, like, local update, some stories? Because we got some DGens here too,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
There's a couple, like, kind of interesting updates out there. I just want to make sure you guys know, which is there is a big launch coming tomorrow. In fact, I think there's two. I want to just make sure you guys have it on your radar. AI Rocket is... just pay attention to these guys. It's a new launch pad in the virtuals ecosystem. Okay, so we got Flagship going live tomorrow. We had them on the show Friday. Their tokens tomorrow. But AI Rocket just announced partnering with Aegon. I don't know anything about them. I just want to put it on your guys' radar. It's worth looking at. We'll talk about them tomorrow, but be aware of that. Another launch pad coming. I think Vader's transitioning to be a launch pad too, guys. So I just want to make sure you're dialed into that. We had some Swarm distributed. I think this was Saturday, by the way, from our Arbus campaign. So if you've been doing that, GG's, hope you got a little stimmy. And then lastly, you guys know I've been working on a proposal for virtuals, the governance platform, right? I was going to propose that they use our wallet DNA to let traders sell some airdrops just here and there. It's not like I don't want to dump fest, but builders are really okay if people sell, if they're contributing still, if they're healthy for the ecosystem. Look, I don't need to submit that anymore. Virtuals put out their own new rules where you can sell some airdrops. You're penalized just a little bit. You're going to sit in timeout for not 10 days, guys, but just like 3 airdrops. So the next 3 airdrops you sit on the sidelines. When things get like frothy here, that might just be a day. So you know, maybe no airdrops for a day. I love the update. So I just want to make sure you guys know you probably are not going to see that proposal. Virtuals fixed it. GG's. There we go. There's your update. All right, on to the show and the Hollywood gang. Where to start, man? Do you want to do some quick intros, and then we'll get into what Hollywood is?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I've been in the Ethereum ecosystem since 2016. I was an early Consensus employee. And for people that are newer to crypto, Consensus helped create MetaMask and a lot of the early tooling that helped scale Ethereum. And we were also very early in, I don't know, for very OG people, if you've heard of Ujo Music, and trying to build a lot of the creator tools and digital art on chain and things like that before the NFT boom. So I think there's a such thing as being too early. And then also a lot of the tech wasn't ready then, but it was really fun because that office in Bushwick in Brooklyn, the early Consensus office, it really was a whole like laboratory creator ground of this whole digital decentralized economy that has, that's a lot more mature now. And I think from there, I became very interested in decentralized AI. I think particularly I'm, born and raised in the US, but my family is from Pakistan. And then I've worked a lot in different countries around the world too, professionally. So I was very interested in, now that we have really cutting edge technology that, is doing more things than the internet is in terms of providing opportunities for people, in terms of all the various AI, how can we really democratize it and make it so, everyone around the world has easy access to it. And I joined Stability AI, and it was really amazing to see tools like Stable Diffusion and get a chance to interact with so many creatives using it. And this kind of ties into me meeting Tim, because a lot of the creator feedback I would get would be around consistency issues when they storyboard or want to have like longer videos stitched together, being able to have an easier payment economy. And I think Tim can kind of go into some of the things that Scripted has developed to really help, take creative content and image generation to the next level, and then add features that you don't see in traditional Web 2 companies.
By the way, your background's awesome. Just us chatting before we went live, I'm like, okay, she's been around, like she's an OG here. And then like hearing your backstory, you got, wow, dude, consensus and like very early, really, really cool to hear.
Tim?
Yeah, I would love to hear your story.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Tim Cotton. I'm the founder of Scripted. So I'm a technology partner for Hollywood, and Hollywood is like just the best place for us to be pushing frontier model technology. And I'm going to explain my background. It's pretty straightforward. I began in the video game industry at Electronic Arts back in the early 2000s. Me and my team, we had worked on the original series of massively multiplayer online games. So before crypto, before blockchain, we were running into the same problems that blockchain was meant to solve for, preventing people from cheating in games with duplicating items and all that sort of stuff. Ironically, we came to similar conclusions. We just we did not Satoshi Nakamoto ourselves, sadly. But my role was mostly building artificial intelligence in those games before we had the new stuff, the amazing things that we have now with deep learning. We used old system logic. We used things like graph nodes or cool ways of just making decision trees for the non-player characters, the little guys who run around in town. That was our jam. So when we suddenly have all the new stuff, we wanted to figure out how to merge those two eras together. And that led to lots of creative outputs for like gaming. We made a really cool like level builder, world builder tool that we used with Chibi Clash, the base project. And then we were talking with Rahila, and she had these, as she said, issues with consistency. And we were like, well, we've been training a lot of our own models, but more importantly, we've been using our own orchestration like layer to make existing models a lot more powerful. And the idea there is, why spend $1 billion, especially when you're a young, hungry startup, when you can just pull out the really good stuff out of the existing models that no one else is figuring out how to do? It's like, how do I unlock superpowers? So we built a superpower layer, essentially, for the existing models. And then we figured out, well, a lot of the models are really expensive. Google VO3 is amazing, but costs about $6 to generate an 8-second video. Fast costs $3.20. Clean Master costs $2.10 per 8-second video. And so we were kind of like, how do we create blended models that bring that down to pennies? And so that's what we're unlocking for Rahila and the Hollywood team, while also adding like these extra features of consistency, being able to actually hit a button pretty soon and just keep generating the same video without it having to end. So you could have something like 60-second videos that actually make sense. And I'm not talking about hard cuts and I'm not talking about like taking a video that you generated 5 minutes ago and then slapping it onto the end with like a smash cut. I'm talking, no, character continues doing what it's supposed to be doing. And that's new. That's interesting. So we patented that. And my goal is to take all of this cool stuff that my company, Scripted, built and give it to you guys as a permissionless and confidentiality preserving service through Web3. So we'll hook it up to Base, we'll hook it up to Solana, we'll hook it up to all the tokens, and we're going to provide you a gateway so that you can just use it, much like Hollywood is, using something like x402 payment rails. So if you haven't heard about x402 from Coinbase, we actually won their recent hackathon in 2 tracks because of our team's work and contributions to the public good space. So we're really excited about like, hey, this AI stuff is actually accessible. And when you want to generate your own videos, images, sound, music, we're here for you. And you can do it for free right now just by going to Hollywood on X and just asking her for stuff. And she does do it really well.
Dude, she really does. You spoke to a couple pain points that I've had with, again, trying to do AI video content, it's finding which models are good at the kind of content I'm trying to make. It's realizing they're way too expensive for me to like learn on. Cause like by the time I run through whatever my free credits might be or whatever is the basic plan, well, I've not figured out anything. I've just figured out that I'm bad at prompting it, or maybe that it doesn't do what I thought it would do. So I've needed something that's super affordable. And I just got to say, like, for the first time, I tried Hollywood this morning. And I'm trying to find my tweet because I interacted just by tweeting at the agent. But like I gave the prompt had like 4 core parts of it that I wanted. So the prompt, I'll put the video up, and I think you guys can you hear while I'm talking over the video? Yeah. The prompt was like, I want 4 people talking and yelling or laughing and yelling into a microphone with a Hollywood sign outside of the window. And so there were those core parts that I had. They're again the people, the microphone, the laughing, yelling, and then the Hollywood thing. And I'm like, it's not going to get some of that. It'll maybe get something, but it won't get it all. And it did all of it. It's exactly what I had in my mind. So I've not had that kind of luck first try with any other product I've used. So GG's already there, but how the hell does it do that?
I can answer it pretty simply. So Hollywood is built on an open source. And I say open source, we're actually going to release this slightly open source version of this soon called the AVB stack. It stands for Autonomous Virtual Beings. And some of you in the crowd may remember that last year in October, someone took one of my blog articles and turned it into an actual honest to God meme coin, and it hit like a 70 million market cap at one point.
No way. What was that?
That community is still alive, and we support it officially from Scripted. That we didn't make the token, but that's our community token now. We're like, you guys, you will get flow of value from us, right? So we're actually getting ready to release a framework so you can build agents, not necessarily like Hollywood, but with the same underlying principles of it's an agent that can learn things, that interacts socially, and depends on services in other frameworks. For instance, Hollywood has a game, the game SDK integration into virtuals, which means she has enterprise access to the X API. Now that's something that, us normies cannot afford. That is a very expensive cost, but virtuals very kindly subsidizes that for compatible agents. So Hollywood takes advantage of that. The AVB stack will be a gateway for that for people. And the second part to understand is her workflow, her agentic workflow, is all about understanding user intent against a huge library of personal understanding of cinema and film that the creative director of Rahila's project, Bruce, put together for them. I'm talking like 100 pages of documents that this guy put together that we could train Hollywood on top of from the Scripted side. And you got to imagine, for me as a corporation, what an amazing de-risking exercise for me to be able to prove, oh, hey, it's not just that we're building agent technology. It's like, here's a project that, like what, Rahila, you hit a 4 million market cap out of the gate with Genesis that can provably accrue value. And then provably, as you said, man, like give people a creative value, not just DeFi, like actually like create something into the world. That's new. I really think that's special. So when you ask, hey, how does this work? It's like, well, she's like her own little mini person, and she's thinking about why she cares about your prompt. And she tries not to be too judgmental. She thinks about the planning stages of how to fulfill those things, and she keeps track of it.
So
perfect yet, but we're working on it.
Well, it's interesting. So part of the magic of that process, what makes it so good, is it the agent itself?
Oh, 100%. Because that agent layer is like not relying on one model. It's actually doing something. I'll give you a basic overview. It takes your prompt. And the first thing is, if you look at the current playgrounds and the APIs and stuff that are offered by like everybody else, they take a prompt and they do something called upsampling. Upsampling just means, dear ChatGPT or similar, please take this prompt and improve it. And that's pretty much the upsample, right? It writes a slightly more complex prompt. Ours goes, hey, what is the user's intent and where does it match in cinematography? What are the best examples we can use? And then take the components and go ahead and try to draw a couple of images of this, like sketch it out for me. And then, okay, of these, and we have a multimodal AI in the background. It's essentially, Hollywood is several little mini agents coordinated together, right? And it looks at the picture and says, which one is the best match for the concepts? And if none, it tries to re-roll and do something else, right? At that point, once it chooses one, then it turns that into a video. And we actually have two parts of that model. One, we have our own proprietary thing that we build, right? And that's what kind of enforces like the real action and the flow over time. And then we have the, hey, also cast this video into this version from Google or this version from Kling or something like that, so that we can really like control the output and like make it very high quality. So there's all sorts of steps. But like Hollywood is just one example. And again, what I want to say is that many people in the virtuals ecosystem have approached us and asked, hey, when does this permissionless thing come live? And tell me more about privacy. Does that mean that we could just have an agent on ACP do whatever we want and it would be like, you know, between us? And I'm like, yes. And I'm talking with the virtuals team about making that a native interface at some point soon. But Hollywood, here's what I see. I don't need to deploy a meme coin or an AI coin into virtuals to do video generation. Hollywood gets to be that representative. She just gets to join the Agent Commerce Protocol. She gets to go into the entertainment cluster soon, and she will serve all of these requests between agents, not just on X.
Dude, it's so interesting. You know what? I thought Hollywood was already in ACP, and as I was just looking over the week, I'm like, it's not, Hollywood's not there.
He's not there, man.
Yeah, so it's I was going to ask you if Hollywood will be there. So now we heard yes, which is awesome to hear. So it's cool. So now I assume that I can do prompts through the Butler and get some content, which is cool. Do you picture other agents using it too? Will other agents have Hollywood fill the gaps that they can't fill, and they come to Hollywood then to help create?
100%. And let me share two things, and then I'm going to let Rahila talk about tokenomics a little bit more, because there's a valuable part of staking with Hollywood, so that you guys can just generate stuff because you staked, and she can talk about that more. What you just said, agents being able to use Hollywood directly, then there are several requests that have come in. One is for advertising, right? Generating ads, overlaying text, doing things like that. Totally makes sense. Do you know what a terrible interface for that is? Prompts. Prompts are a terrible friction for that kind of thing, right? So what we've been doing on the scripted side is we've been working on our own consumer product as well that gets rid of prompts and just turns things into recipes, like literally like point and click gamified. Here's the thing. You want an advertisement, you want to put your logo in there, and you want it to do this funny thing with the talking ape, do it. Guess what? We'll expose that to Hollywood through ACP. So you'll be able to do things that are promptful. If you want a prompt, go ahead. But if you want direct control, if you want to like literally point and click and like choose what's happening and like do things from drop downs and that sort of thing, Hollywood will have that too through ACP. And I think that will be a very, very powerful loop, not just for the humans, but for the agents as well, because then they can do something like, hey, I need a 30-second promo, or I need a 5-second promo for the upcoming podcast. Here's some raw footage. Go cut this for me and add some special effects, make something fun happen. Boom. You know, that shouldn't cost any serious money anymore. You know, it used to cost us like hundreds of dollars and wait a week on Upwork to do that. No, Hollywood's going to make that liquid.
Yeah, I think our first use case was just tagging Hollywood agent on X. And initially it had to be within a single thread. But then now anyone can tag Hollywood agent, and it's with zeros and ones, and write a prompt. And a cinematic image will come up. And then we were lucky enough to get into the WorldCoin's residency competition at Edge Esmeralda. for people that don't know, Edge Cities are one of the pop-up cities that Vitalik supported a few years ago. So there's a lot of them. So we were at one of them in Northern California, and our mini app, thanks for showing that, got first place. And so anyone can actually download our mini app on just as long as you have the WorldCoin app, and you can create check-ins, and you can actually download that. And then we're really excited. The reason why we haven't been on ACP is Tim has been working on a very exciting API update that should be done like very, very soon. So we've just been waiting for that before we go on to ACP, but it'll be a huge upgrade to our World Mini app. And then from there, we plan to go on to Farcaster and Base, and then also have our own standalone website. And then also it'll finally be, because right now using Hollywood is free, but we'll be able to add premium features and then add utility to the Holly token. I think one thing I do have to say is I do appreciate the virtuals community and the Hollywood community, because it's not necessarily just about narrative anymore. Everyone has been so excited about, like, when is your project going live? Like, when is this happening? And it's like, well, we're building this, this, and this. And it's just like, when? So
the community is great here. You know what? There's I would say most of the community is really here to support builders. I believe that. At least I'm lucky here in this community here, right? Like I think a lot of people here get it. They get it, and they allow people that time to build, and they believe in this vision.
And that's actually why we decided to launch on virtuals, just because virtuals themselves are always innovating and listening to the community, and
the ship
versus just being like, okay, we built this launch pad and we're making a lot of money, and and then I think also they've created a supportive ecosystem among the different agent founders, which has been good. And then it's just great to meet a lot of the agent founders, just because they're so committed to the project. Like, you don't meet anybody, or I haven't met anybody that's just kind of here for like a pump and dump.
Right. Here and there that pops up, but for the most part, no. You got some really like forward thinkers here and some great builders. It's I don't know. It's unique to this ecosystem, I think. All right, let me fire a question off here. I don't know if this is marketing or if this is speaking to the direction of Hollywood, but like part of the messaging of it is the first AI director, right? Which is cool, as opposed to just like an video generator. And so right now I made that video that I showed before. It's what, 7 to 10 seconds long. Is the goal for this to direct these like longer videos? And I'm talking minutes, or like, will we see a point where we're talking like an hour, a couple hours, or we can see full-length films that are created out of something like Hollywood?
I can give some feedback quickly, and then Tim can kind of add his technical 2 cents too. But just a lot of the feedback I get from friends in the entertainment industry is, and I think you see it now if you go on to any streamer, like even Netflix, for instance, a lot of the content is, instead of it being like a 30-minute show, it'll be 12 minutes. Or 16 minutes. And then I think people really see a future where, rather than, the old days, if we would go home and watch these shows, and maybe there was like 5 series or 10 series that were really popular, like within our apps, and even within things like the World Mini app or Zora or Base or Farcaster, we'll see anyone can be a content creator. And I think that Midjourney and Stable Diffusion showed that anyone can be an artist. And then as these tools keep evolving, anyone can create compelling content that's just a few minutes that people enjoy watching, whether it's a group of friends or it's something that ends up going viral. So that's what I think is super interesting. And I think Tim can kind of talk about it on the technology end as well, in terms of, I don't think we'll see like 60-minute feature films like on the horizon, but I think seeing these like shorter 5 to 15-minute things, like absolutely in the near future.
Which makes a ton of sense too. And again, as a content creator, something I've been itching for, just something that helps me like take content to the next level, just insert even like transitions, or just look, a funny story happens in the space and I can whip up an animation that represents that thing that had, like, man, I would eat that up. I need it, you know?
Yeah. You know, okay, so I have a lot of thoughts and I'm going to break them down like this. One of the things that was very inspiring to me is I follow a lot of AI creators, like actual creatives who are using things like Midjourney video or using like the latest tools to create beautiful things on X, right? And one of my favorites right now is Umesh. Umesh, if you like, I'll put his thing in the chat if I can get it in the chat. He posted some time-lapse videos where he made very clever prompts to take like a city scene and like it builds up the city from scratch, or it builds up a building, or it builds up a house sitting on a beautiful hill over an ocean, right? Like all sorts of beautiful things. And it just looks so liquid, so nice, so sweet. And I was like, wow, that is inspiring. That we should be able to just do stuff like that, different styles. Right now, a lot of AI video just feels like it's the same slop, you know? And I think what we're enabling here is the ability to combine different styles and different like scene cuts in a way that hits the word, we call it semantic, right? It's meaningful. It's not just like the syntax of a programming language or the syntax of what's in your prompt. It's like, no, I want you, Hollywood, one day to be able to make a full 5-minute cut completely autonomously based on a goal, right? That's the first thing we go for, not 60 minutes. We go for 5 minutes. And a good example of that is even long tracking shots. Look, we've got a patent on it and we solved for that. But a great example is on Justine Moore's X. Like, she loves making these skateboarding anime girl videos in Ghibli style. And literally, it's just a girl skateboarding down a hill, like towards a city off in the distance, but it cuts off after 10 seconds. And so here's what Justine does. She takes the last frame and then she goes back to it and gives it the same prompt and says, okay, continue from this frame. The problem is, guys, it looks like a cut. It looks like there's a choppy part there, and the stuff in the next video absolutely drifts away from the original video, right? So it's more like a hallucination, like a dream. You know, like dreams when you have them are very inconsistent. Oh, deep thought there. That's probably how our brains work too, right? So we solve for that. We solve for it. We like figure out a way to like make those two different things overlap perfectly and retain the differences between them. Oh, you found it. Yeah. So I'm going to show you a 30-second version of this. I'll post it online soon. And it's just her continuing down to the ocean.
It's so wild.
Yeah, I wonder what everyone's reaction will be when it just is like continuous. So like that'll be fun, and that will be an ability that will be live in Hollywood very soon. So it's what h0llyw00d was saying, by the way, about the API updates. We're giving Hollywood some new superpowers. One, we're giving her direct access to create videos with our own internal engine, which she does right now for free. Or if you pay her through ACP, you can absolutely use any of the other AI video engines, anything that's available pretty much. Like she auto chooses what is best based on the style of what you're asking for. And that's all you need to know, but it just works. And so that means you could have the power of Google VO3, you could have Kling, you could have h0llyw00d, you could have whatever you need. And she just figures it out for you, just magic. And then the second one is images too, and sound and music, because why not? At this point, why not have background tracks? Why not have sound effects? We can do all of that. So h0llyw00d will have those upgrades within the week.
Oh, yeah. I saw that on the roadmap. So that's all basically here. That's like you said, in the next week. And Alizar, dude, yes, it's really, really cool. Again, it eliminates that problem I had back at the beginning of trying out this app and trying out this app and trying out this and not knowing which and what the strengths. And it's like I can just go to h0llyw00d now and it's going to pick the best one, or maybe even like using them all together to make the thing I wanted. This is wild.
And the cool thing is h0llyw00d and ACP, and we'll talk with the virtuals team about this. She could be more than one agent inside of ACP. You know, if you need a specific kind of thing, like, because, you know, ACP only lets you specify a couple of different outputs. You can only do a certain number of things. We can make one for different styles. We can make one for different like images versus like, hey, make me a music video. All that stuff is on the table, right? But that's just between h0llyw00d and the virtuals team. And keep in mind, my intent is to make it so that h0llyw00d has a very generic interface to us over at Scripted. And that means h0llyw00d could also deploy into Google's agent-to-agent system, into Flora's new monetized MCP service, in like all over the place. Even Coinbase's new discovery platform. for payments. So Coinbase, by the way, is like literally on the verge of releasing this cool new discovery platform that people don't know about. But hey, we won one of their hackathons, so we know, and we want to tell you about it. It's coming.
You won one already? What was this hackathon?
Yeah. So that was 2 weeks ago. It was in New York. It was Code NYC. I also won a skateboard, oddly enough, but we did win a lot of money.
It's this year. Okay.
Yeah. So,
I just dig so much, and I see these things, and I'm reminded of them. Like, you guys keep stacking wins all over the place. It's wild.
Well, that's what you got to do in this industry. You have to stack wins.
Is raising. So if anyone is interested in investing,
that is true. So like, the thing you need to understand is like unit cost economics are a thing that I dig, right? So like my goal is to bring our company to 12 million in profit, and then be spinning out like 5.7 million in actual acquisition based on free credits to play with this stuff, right? We've got such a good blended set of models, we can pull that off, right? That's the entire idea. But yeah, if you ever run into people who are like, oh, what's Tim up to? What's Scripted up to? Hey, send them to me. I've got a data room, and you can talk to my AI agent, Tim.
And not to get too in the weeds technically, but another thing that made it very interesting to launch Hollywood and be able to work with the Scripted team is being able to use decentralized compute and being able to bring down costs. Because I think a lot of people don't realize that when you launch projects like this, compute costs are very expensive, and there is real innovation when it comes to decentralized compute. So I think, Tim, if you want to share more on how that's going.
I'm always happy to share on that.
That's such an interesting point, because like we've got great builders, projects, whatever, and a lot of people are promising very big things. But like, I think often I'm like, that sounds awesome, but that's really, really expensive, and I don't know how you're going to do it right now without having, like, right. So I'm curious about this.
No, this is good. Like, again, unit cost economics, right? Right now, centralized. Okay, let me give you some basic numbers to play with, just because a lot of people are just operating at huge losses, and I don't believe in running a startup operating at huge losses, right? My goal is to be revenue positive. I'm not a boomer, I swear. I believe that you should make money as a startup. I think that's a good idea. So centralized providers are fairly gate kept and expensive. I think that's fair to say, right? Even their API accesses, I can think of several off the top of my head that don't offer their best premium services that they give to users through their websites. They don't give it to you if you use the API, because they want their special sauce, right? So that's one problem right there. Two, they just cost a lot. And if a video costs you $6 to generate for 8 seconds, you can imagine that, not everyone's willing to pay that out right off the bat, right? Especially for something that they're testing, they're having fun with. You really want to bring that down to like 40 cents, something like that. How do you do that? Rahila called it. There are a ton of decentralized providers for GPU, like graphics processing units, or tensor processing units, as well as actual physical hardware for hosting, and APIs to like the best of the best, things from Black Forest Labs, like with Flux, things like FAL, FAL, we love FAL, right? Like, these kind of APIs work really well with volume discounts. So what we want to be doing is providing tons of order flow, right? Because order flow allows us to negotiate pricing, but equally, then we spread this out. There's honestly, even with the big centralized providers, there's not enough concurrency to do tens of thousands of videos, right? There's just not. There's not enough graphics cards in private hands sometimes. So what you want to do is you want to work with the decentralized networks too, who are providing access to consumer grade hardware. So there's, and also professional hardware, and I'll give you some examples. Spheron, SETI are two that I can think of off the bat. Aether, we have a partnership with, by the way, we have a partnership with all three of those. And Aether is great for doing things like, hey, we need a top of the line NVIDIA set of cards, like an H100. We need an 8 stack of it. And they're like, yep, here's a private monthly deal. Here's what we'll give you. We're going to give you a huge cut on this as long as you can just reserve it for 6 months. And I'm like, heck yeah, because that's where our stuff lives. This like secret sauce, right? But then when we need more consumer stuff, hey, now we have friends at Render Network. Now, Render Network, these are the guys, this is Trevor and Jules and everyone over there who literally come from the entertainment industry, the video game industry, and like built a huge rendering cluster for 3D and then expanded it out to AI generative art. and they are making this stuff super accessible and very affordable. And as long as our models can run on like 4090s or 3090s, like, NVIDIA cards that you would have at home playing games, bueno, I mean, like, it's amazing, right? So very, very deep into render as well. And then I think what people have been kind of confused about with this is, how do you coordinate all that? How do you actually like pull all that together? So if you ever wonder, well, what's Scripted's master plan? It's that, well, we will launch our own like coordination network for all of this work, and we will tokenize it. And we are prototyping it with the Eigenlayer team right now. And then we're hooking that up so that the payments like can be like super liquid between everyone. And that's, like, I named like 8 different groups so far, right? But with Eigenlayer, we hook it up so that the wire network actually just holds these pools of payments, so that instead of me having to send, like hundreds of thousands of transactions every day, I can just say, hey, by the way, here's your total list of debits for the day. Here's the total list of credits to you guys over here at SETI. And by the way, Render, here's your share. And then Wire just essentially like makes those fees almost nothing, right? And they become my giant payment pool provider. And those guys are launching their network soon. So I'm just sitting here like, we're getting ready, and Hollywood is our frontier. We just get to test everything with Hollywood, and I love that. And anyone else who wants to test things, come on down.
You're a mad scientist. It's awesome. Like, dude, again, when we have you guys on and these awesome teams, you just start here. Like, how can you not be bullish on what's happening here in the base ecosystem and beyond? But just what's happening here in AI is like, it's incredible stuff. Who's your customer ultimately, or I should say for right now, and then how do you scale it? Again, like somebody like me, just content creator, I'm interested in this. So how do you get more content creators in, and who else do you want in?
Yeah, right.
I have thought for me, but Rahila needs to go for Hollywood.
Yeah, so right now we have just been very experimental and very beta, just with like, we haven't spent any money on advertising. It's just been very organic from the virtuals and world community. And when we start to have the new features, I think we do want to target B2B, because I do get a lot. I mentioned kind of being at Edge Esmeralda, and I was around a lot of great like builder teams from across the ecosystem. I just got so many messages, and I still do, that we want to create an ad, or we want to create this image. And then I think I'm excited about integrating, or Hollywood being able to have some of the newer tech that Tim can talk about, because it can be anything from people that just want to create internet memes and not go through writing prompts, and they can use these recipes that he can tell you more about. Or if you want to create an ad or experiment with something, before you're meeting with your internal creative team, and then also we have a music video coming out with a Grammy Award winning artist that should be out shortly. So I think that there's many different things that we'll try. And I think for the Holly holders, what we want to do is for those that hold and stake the token, they'll have access to test out these premium features for free, and then be able to, earn some sort of like credit or points to be able to use them without having to pay for a subscription, or at least getting to use a certain amount. And I feel like it's removing a friction point, because if you just want to go, and I go on to like any video generator, and I just want to experiment with prompts, it's like I have to sign up for a monthly subscription right away. And I hate having to do that, because it's just like, well, how do I know that I'll like it? And I want to try out different ones. So I love what Hollywood is offering in terms of free ways to give people a taste of what the video generation will look like. And then also the orchestration layer, where based on the prompt, you don't have to go and look at, 12 different video generators. Your agent can help you in the back end decide which workflow and which video generators would be best.
Yeah, literally speaks to that problem I keep having with, too many products and I just don't know what they do. And yeah, so would I spin up? So would, if I want I don't know, a helper with my content for the show, would I be using Hollywood or like Endgame? Would I be trying to spin up my own agent? That's like my own personal collaborator for, the storm report.
I think the best thing to say right now is that Hollywood should be able to service it. And once we reach the point where people need deeply integrated services, hey, we'll talk.
There we go. Kat, well, so great question here. How much Holly do you need? And the video I made cost nothing.
Yeah, right now it's free. Enjoy it while everything is free.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while we're subsidizing.
People know, I think I said it earlier, if you download the World mini app, you can actually download your video. So if you wanted to download it and use it for something, like you can go ahead and do that. And I think people on their own are like creating videos and then like stitching them together on their own. And I'm telling them that soon we'll have the stitching feature. Yeah. And then we'll have an editing feature also. And then with the new API update that's coming imminently, like you can upload an image. Because right now on World, there is an image upload feature, but it doesn't work yet. But that is coming soon.
How did you get connected, by the way, to the World ecosystem?
I just was planning to go to Edge Esmeralda, and they advertised that they were having a World residency program. So we applied and got in, and it was fantastic. The developers are great. I think that we get so many users that, like on a daily basis, people are using the mini app. So because they're onboarding, I think it was around 30 million people, and they're just aggressively onboarding people. And I guess there's not enough mini apps to meet the demand of users that they're having.
They need more.
Yeah, of course they do. You're in a nice spot then. That's cool. So, okay. So
the very first video generation on World as well.
Oh, get out. Okay. Yeah,
really. It's going to be even bigger. I mean, like, you guys got to understand the prospect, like what's going on with World. I mean, this is the one thing I love about this. So when my investors invested in World as well, and like you have to understand, this is like the way that we tell humans from bots in the future. Like this is the method for us to create like actual identities and create activities that are like really bound against like our personas and not like a bunch of sock puppet shills that are everywhere, right? So when you go onto World and someone creates a video, you know that a human made it, like kind of like started it, so their channel really does represent like their creative output. And I think that's an incredibly valuable proposition. And I think it's equally, by the way, I think it's equally valuable when Rahila, you deploy it to the Coinbase app, the new base app, because then you also get things like Zora where you're tokenifying like the actual individual pieces of content. I think that's cool too.
Yeah, and a lot of our users have asked us, and our community have asked us about Zora. So we've been in touch with them. So we plan to have a Zora Hollywood page where we're sharing content. The issue is we can't integrate our Holly token onto Zora yet, but that's something that they say that they're going to be working on.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So let's see. So we got Hollywood in the virtuals ecosystem, soon in ACP, so people can engage there. You can engage on X. Did I hear Farcaster earlier?
Farcaster's coming. I think the only reason why there's been a delay there is we wanted to do it with the upgraded API.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Well, that's
totally reasonable. Why not have superpowers? Makes sense to me.
Yeah. No, that makes tons of sense. All right. So I was going to ask about scaling, but you've laid out the scaling, how it scales and where. Pretty spicy. I love it. Let me fire off some like random questions here. We're getting to the point where more rapid fire, I think. Let's see. You know what? Some fun ones. How about this? What do you look at all the prompts people throw at Hollywood? I'm kind of curious here.
You know what's interesting about that? I only look at the prompts when we have to do debugging, right? And yet that actually inspired us to win one of the Coinbase hackathon tracks, because we were like, hey, wait a second. All of the agents are seeing everyone's prompts. We should probably make a confidentiality wrapper for this so that you can submit things with perfect privacy. Because like people are like, oh yeah, it's got like HTTPS, it's secure. It's like, no, the moment it gets to the agent, it's not secure anymore. It's just one agent talking to another agent. And we were like, oh, we should build an actual service for this. So the new version that's coming out will actually preserve privacy. And if you need to send a message and say, hey, by the way, my thing's broken, it didn't work, you can like essentially click a button and unwrap it and share the actual original prompt, right?
I mean, because prompts can be valuable if you stumbled on or you crafted something that's just so magic and unique. And I saw this when Mid-Journey first came out, or when, you know, kind of blew up and everybody got on there and was playing around, and I saw so many people stealing other people's prompts and taking credit for it. And I realized that problem back then. I'm like, it's kind of a bummer. You really could have the magic prompt, and all of a sudden so does 1,000 other people. So
yeah, and on World, you have the option when you if you want to share the video that you created, you have the option to keep your original prompt, or you can just edit it and write your own description.
Yeah,
I like that.
By the way, I want to follow up on something you said, man. This is it's an incredible insight into why we're doing this as well. It's scripted. Every video, whether it's a success or a failure, represents valuable data to anyone who's building things, right? So for instance, we're building a consumer-facing website ourselves. We're like going to make viral hits, one click, just do it. It's called Delula. We'll sign up soon. I'll show you a screenshot privately. If like every one of those that succeeds means that we can train that specific style for that specific task and reduce our reliance on the billion-dollar version of the models, right? So all of that data has value. Now, of course, if people are paying for things and they want to opt out, we'll make sure they can. But otherwise, you guys are helping like actually create the right-sided brain of future AIs. That's the thing that I don't think people really understand. Like, we've got left brain. Left brain is all the large language models. Like, we need the right-sided brain, and this is the start of that. Like, this is the kind of stuff we want to build.
That's a cool way to put it, by the way, a really cool way to put it. And to your guys' points about your pages and pages of prompts, yeah, like, again, this is something I learned, you know, more recently. I think all of us are learning AI over the past, you know, year especially. But, you know, I learned that some people, like some of these outputs people get, it doesn't matter what the platform is or what, you know, some of these things, it's not just that, you know, that one prompt and then boom, there's the output. No, some of these people, it's weeks or maybe months of refining a prompt to get it to do, and again, that's so valuable.
Also, this tokenized economy that we're all in the early stages of, this is where, you know, for instance, like I see a future with Hollywood where if you're a creator and you want your director filter to be part of the pool, you could create it and then earn royalties from it. And then also maybe there's a way where you can opt for your prompts to be in a pool where if people use them, you can monetize. Or be rewarded. Cool. Yeah, and I think we're seeing kind of cool tech like titles, you know, which has the ability to give that attribution.
Yeah, they handle provenance, which is great. And by the way, I see in the comments someone's pointing out that they spend and it's just like you guys said, they spend tons of pages, tons of time building beautiful prompts, right? And they want to protect them. And right now, in most of the systems, you can't protect your prompts when you're getting things rendered. And soon, we will be able to promise you that, and we'll make it available through ACP. And I think that's very valuable, right? So by the way, for those of you who are in the virtuals ecosystem, who care about privacy prompting and that sort of thing, like, feel free to DM me on X. We'll put together a little working group. I know the virtuals leadership team, we want to like show them the interest for like privacy preservation when doing ACP stuff. I think it's important, right? So like my pitch to you is, hey, you want to help? Let's build a little community that wants this stuff as features, and we'll actually put it into the governance proposals and get it integrated. It doesn't cost a lot of capital to do this, guys. And then the other thing I'll say is on tokenization of prompts. One thing that we'll be doing on the scripted side is with our new system, we have two ways for creators to make money. Creators can come into our system and they can create, like Rahila said, director level like recipes, essentially, like their own styles or their own tasks. Like, hey, go ahead and make this thing, and it has a guy melting into ice, and it's like a Frozen parody, right? And then if people use it, they share it with their audiences, they get a cut. We just give them a cut of the profit, right? And then if one of our AI agents finds a cool public prompt from someone's X and they're showing off, and they say, hey, this is for everyone to use. Well, we'll absolutely include that on the platform. We'll just send them tips. You know, if people make stuff, we'll just cut them some BankerBot tips. Because why not? Why not make the like attention economy just a constantly flowing deal?
Yeah. Oh man, love that. Love that.
We have a gaming contest. Like if you go to Hollywood, and then if you scroll, so if you just click on the Holly gaming giveaway,
You extended it.
yeah, we extended it. And then if you kind of click on it, and then if you scroll down, you'll be able to see these are all the different, we kept it in one thread. So if people wanted to participate, or if you just want to go through and vote versus like hearting the ones that you like, then we'll pick a winner. But a lot of them were, I think all of them, I've just been like amazed by
Mortal Wombat.
So the Edge City people, they're going to be having Edge Patagonia for 4 weeks before Dev Connect. So we'll all be in Argentina, and then I'm part of a vibe coding group. So we'll have a 4-week vibe coding residency. So we're meeting every Sunday to vibe code stuff. So we were actually taking some of these games, some of these videos, and turning them into mini games.
Oh wow.
This is what we were doing yesterday. And then so there'll be 5 winners that get 50,000 Holly each. And then Tim added that the 5 winners will get 10,000 AVB each of his community token, which he didn't launch. His community launched it, and he doesn't know. I just want to add that. And
I don't think for myself, that would have been like, I always thought it would be unethical, and I promised the community I wasn't going to scam them. But like, I will happily add value flow to it. So I'm sending off AVB to anyone who wins the Hollywood contest.
Yeah, I love when that happens, by the way, because it's just such great lore for a project, you know, when the community does something like that.
Yeah.
And then with the winner, we'll actually turn it into a mini app game.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. Where does your community hang, by the way? Is it a TG, or do you have a Discord?
Telegram.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mainly been Telegram. But then when we start to launch the new features, I was actually going to open the Hollywood DMs, because I think we haven't done that yet. But a lot of people have just been reaching out to me directly, or to Tim, or on TG.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Yeah, your community loves you, by the way. I totally get why. Thank you. I don't know earlier, but to Shaw for even getting us connected to set this up. Like,
I really appreciate Shaw. It's been great. And then also it's just been interesting to see the mix where you have people like Shaw, and then others that are just genuinely excited about the product, and they understand that we're like heads down building, and then others like panic every time there's a fluctuation in the token price. And
never promise price action. Lesson
yeah,
one,
and
right?
it's just like I'm kind of like, you know, early days where I was there when Ethereum went from like almost 1,500 and then dropped down to $80, and you know what I mean? And then, you know, I think we all went through the 3-year bear market where everyone was like, Ethereum's dead. But then, you know, really, we go to all the developer conferences. It's actually where Tim and I met. We met at Dev Connect in Istanbul.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I think that, you know, like, we're a team that is building, and we're really serious about building, and we're building very cutting edge things. So I think, and sometimes people will reach out to me within the Virtuals ecosystem, and they're like, oh, since you've been in the ecosystem for a long time, like, what do you recommend like investing in? And it's like, well, I can't really give you investment advice, but, you know, people that are like seriously committed to building.
Yeah, it's the best answer. Just find the builders, you know, people who are putting it out there, shipping. The one thing I love, there are several AI agent ecosystems that ship constantly. I mean, Daydreams does, Eliza OS still does, Virtuals does. And Virtuals has this amazing flywheel, though. They didn't stick with one thing. They tried many different things, and whatever stuck, they pushed hard on, right? That was their success. Instead of just focusing on one simple thing, they're like, nah, this is why I love them. They get it. Like, old VCs, like, here's what old venture capitalists think. They think a startup should just do like one thing and do it really well. We live in an attention economy and an agent economy. Like, you can't stand still. You have to move quickly, and you have to try different things, and whatever you can automate, do it, right? That's the way to go. So it is now possible to have multiple products happening, and that's what Virtuals did, and that's why they're so powerful.
Yep. Dude, agree. I love those guys. They're they're different. They're definitely different.
Yeah,
We'll bring this home here. And Hoods, by the way, soon ACP. Soon you can use it with the Butler. For now, like I used it right on X, just tagging Hollywood Agent and sending the prompt directly to it. You can go on their Genesis page, and it gives you some like hashtags you can use to kind of, kind of modify that video or give it some parameters. So definitely peek at that. Your guys' token unlock is finally here. Like you had a long one, 4 months, was it? Like almost 5 months?
Actually, if it was up to me, I would just keep extending it, it's just sort of like, and then I think just so, I mean, again, not giving any investment advice, but I really believe in the project. Every time our token dips, I'm personally buying more.
Oh, I love that.
So, anyway.
Well, no, that's awesome. I love teams that believe in their product. I mean, that's the best teams. So that's cool to hear. Well, then the question was going to be, unlock is in a few weeks. Do you have plans? Are you going to take the token, do anything with it? Or are you just going to put it back into the token?
I think
even stake it.
Oh, I mean, like, just so you know, like, look at the layout there. A lot of it is just straight into the treasury, and the treasury is meant for ecosystem growth.
Yeah, I think that we've been getting, we've got like a pretty good amount of money from Virtual's trading fees that's been able to cover a lot of our development costs. And then, so I'd like to really just hold on to it and then really think of a good reward framework.
There we go.
Really users. Cool. And then I've talked to different teams from Virtuals as well that are doing B2B where they do revenue sharing with their token holders that are staking and things like that. So I think as we're getting this new API update and all of these new apps launched in our website, I think we're exploring the best type of way to have tokenomics and reward users. And then we don't have any like venture money. This has all been self-funded by me and by the virtual fees we're getting. And then we did get like a grant from World when we won, or we won, some prize money from World, and hopefully we'll be getting other grants as well.
If you keep entering these contests, you're going to keep stacking up those wins. I have a feeling just based on what you're doing already. So awesome stuff. Anything else like big that we didn't touch on that you want to make sure people know here?
Oh, Tim, we can't hear you.
Nothing.
Oh no.
We lost him. We see you. You can sign it.
What happened? Yeah, I think just so people that were asking how to use it.
What about now?
Good.
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I'm sorry about that. The one thing I did want to clarify, and I think this is really great and important, is that h0llyw00d has done this with her team, like very independently, and using the full Virtuals ethos of just like working with trading fees, working with her own self-funding and building this up. Like my company is like its own venture funded company. We went with Andreessen Horowitz's Crypto Startup Accelerator. We've raised, like $1.5 million at this point to build cool AI technology for products like this. But like, look what she can do. And I think that's a really great thing for this project, and why I believe in it so much is that even if we didn't have like this this coexistence relationship, I would be very interested in what h0llyw00d was doing. But I think h0llyw00d is going to be super, like just like the next level thing on ACP with the new upgrades. You guys it's hard to explain. So we're just going to show. Telling is one thing. I think showing is more important.
Yeah, thanks to our community for your patience. Just in, the API upgrade and all of the things, it'll definitely be well worth it.
Yeah, super cool. I know they're excited. I am too. Guys, here we go. Follow Hollywood Agent over on X. I think it's all zeros instead of O's. So just making sure that's
clear. It's zeros and ones. Yes.
Oh, it's ones too. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually why I had a call with a friend of mine yesterday that's like a founder, and he was like, okay, you need to come up for your website. It can't be the zeros and ones. That's too confusing. That's okay for the name of your like agent, but anyway.
I used to do a show with some buddies. It was called Web3, but it was instead of the E, it was a 3. And we realized like it's cool, but it's so hard to find sometimes. I get it.
Yeah. So we'll have some updates there too.
There we go. All right, there's Hollywood Agent. Hang on, is this going to load? Please load. Here's scripted. This is Tim's, and it's not going to load, but I'll drop the link to Tim. Cool dude. Geez, follow this as well. There's Tim. Follow him on X. Tim. It's Cotton IO over on X.
It rhymes with Cotton Eye Joe.
There you go. I like that. That's clever. And then h0llyw00d over on X as well. Also, we'll drop that in the chat for you too. You guys are awesome, dude. Again, this should have happened a long time ago, but here's the deal. Open door always, right? If you want to come back and man, if you have like a 5-minute update and you just want to come on and make sure people know that quick update, come on the show. Like again, anytime, any day, come on the show, give the update. And if you want to come back and do a full episode anytime, same thing, open door, come on the show. So
thank you. That's so
amazing. We will take you up on it.
Yeah, please do. Please do. You guys are great. Looking forward to more updates. We'll keep an eye on you going live in ACP and all these other Hollywood updates. But guys, go play with it though. While it's free, go use it on X, tag the agent, make some cool content, share it on the timeline. I'll share it. I'll repost it. But there we go. Guys, thank you again. We'll see you back here tomorrow, fam. 9 a.m. Eastern time, all the usual places. Have a great day. We'll see you though.
See you, fam.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.